When people normally think of Milan, they think of fashion, big churches, and finance. But Milan is actually really weird. From a church made of human bones to wishing luck on a bull's balls, I'm gonna take you around Milan and show you why this place is worth a visit. So our first stop is the Duomo, but on the way there you pass through the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, named after the first king of Italy. And it's an arcade full of shopping, and it has a beautiful ceiling and beautiful architecture because it was built in the 1860s. And legend has it that there's a bull like on the ground somewhere, and if you spin around on it 3 times and wish for something, it comes true. So that's what we're trying to look for, but it is a Saturday and it is extremely busy. All right, Lucas is going to attempt to wish on the balls. It is such a deep crevice right now because of how many people do it on a daily basis, I think. Okay, so the technique is to just run in there and just do it because there's no real line. There's just people waiting around. You have to run in there. She's going. Oh no. You let the little kid go in. You're next, Lucas. You are next. Go, Lucas, go. You've got this. Go, Lucas, this is your opportunity. I'm trying to give him confidence because he is not doing it. Run. You did it. Oh my gosh, you did it. So.
It happened. What? It's happened.
That is one of the hardest things to do on a Saturday. Do you agree?
It was tough because there was a confrontation even when I got in there.
People really want their wish to come true. Did you wish for something?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to let us know if it comes true today.
I will.
All right, we made it to the Duomo finally, and it's wild. And also watch your stuff because Lucas has seen somebody get pickpocketed here. I know it was like 12 years ago when he was here, but it's happened. So watch your stuff while you're in the square. But Duomo Cathedral right behind us. It took 600 years to build. 600 years. That's a very long time to build a church. But what I found to be really interesting about the Duomo is that they auctioned off their gargoyles. So like in 2021, they auctioned off every gargoyle and people were actually able to buy a gargoyle and put their name on them as a way to raise money for the, you know, the renovations of Duomo. But what? I feel like I'm sad I missed out. I want a gargoyle with my name on it. Lucas, wouldn't you at the Duomo be like, yeah? Yeah, he would too. All right, it is time for our tour. And we got the fast track passes, which I highly recommend. The line is so much shorter. I'm talking like a 10th of the length. And I don't think it was that much more money, honestly, to get fast track. So I highly recommend it. Now I guess the first thing you do is you go to the roof, I guess. Here's my question, Lucas. Why were you in Milan 12 years ago?
For Fashion Week, I was doing runway modeling for Fashion Week in Paris and Milan, so yeah, that's why I was here.
That's random.
Yeah, it is.
People need to hear more about that story later, I think. All right, so we made it to the rooftops. How is it? How's the view?
So far the view is looking pretty cool. I like the Gothic stuff.
Ooh, the breeze is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we finally made it to the actual church. It was a wild ride. Okay, so after you're on the roof of the terraces, you have to go down a million steps, and it takes like 15 to 20 minutes just to get down the steps to get to the church. The crowds are wild. So we just finished going into the Duomo.
It was a lot.
Do you think it's worth it?
I don't know. Even with the fast track, like, it's a lot to handle. There's so many people.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's super crowded. It's not really like, the interiors aren't crazy. The view isn't that crazy either because the Duomo's not that tall. So I don't know if the interior is worth it, honestly, unless you really like crowds and you really need to see the interior of Duomo.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
the
I'd
exterior
say
is the coolest part.
I'd say skip it and just enjoy the exterior. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is a highlight for me because we did go to the catacombs of Paris, and apparently Milan, Italy has their own version of it here at the Santuario di... Okay, I have to reference my notes. Santuario di San Bernardino, alle Ossa. I don't know, I'm not saying that right probably. This is a medieval church with human bones inside. Apparently there used to be a hospital next door that had an overcrowding of human remains and would come over here to put them, and it wasn't a church at the time, it was just like an ossuary. I don't know what that is, but that's what the sign said. Anyway, and then in the 17th century they decided to build a church, and they said, oh, you know what, why don't we just use these human bones to design a decorative chapel. And so that's what's inside. So we're gonna go in there and check it out and feel that vibe. We made it in here. This is really cool, actually. I know it's human bones, but the way they did it as decoration is so cool. It's way different than the catacombs in Paris.
It is. It's much more.
I think there's like a better design or something.
Display.
Like I feel like at the catacombs they're just like stacked on each other, but here it's like, oh, I guess they're stacked on each other. It's hard to explain unless you've been to both, but like here it's like
More elegant of a presentation.
yeah, and actually I think it's older. This one's older.
Wow.
So, but it's so weird to think about. These were humans at one point. I feel like the longer you're looking at it, the more it's normalized, and you're like, oh, okay, it's decoration, but then you're like, no, it's just like human, and their remains. How do you feel being right next to these human bones?
I think I'm desensitized because we went to the catacombs and now here. So.
I know, it's like hard to grasp. Okay, too close. All right, so we just got out of the bones place, and like we were saying in there, I don't know if you could hear us, it was so like quiet that we had to whisper, but it was actually kind of cool. But at the same time, you're like, it's humans, so is this respectful? I don't know, it's always just such a tough call on that.
Right, because they didn't have a choice to have their bones put up there.
As display.
Right.
It's tricky, so if you have an opinion on this, I'd love to know and start a conversation in the comments. Let me know what you think, because I'm always confused on how I should feel. Anyway, nonetheless, sorry, I already have that lime. I know, sorry. But anyways, we're gonna take some lime scooters, and we're gonna head over to a really cool aspect to Milan that I bet will surprise you. Okay, so just like Amsterdam, Milan, surprisingly enough, was a bunch of canals back in the day. They've filled them in since, except for some on the outskirts, which is where we are right now. But apparently in the 15th century, the Duke of Milan was like, hey, Leonardo da Vinci, build me some canals so we can move in some marble and other supplies from the lakes into the center of Milan to build Duomo. And that's why they built the canals. So it's kind of interesting. And Leonardo da Vinci did this. But in the mid-20th century, they were like, you know what, cars and trams and stuff like that is way more popular than boats. So we're gonna fill them in and make them into streets. So you won't see a lot of them in Milan, but if you come out here to the outskirts, you can still see canals today. And it's really blowing my mind, honestly. So I don't know, are you feeling the Amsterdam vibes?
I'm curious if they take any boats down this at all anymore.
Yeah, we don't see that.
Because they also have houseboats in Amsterdam. They obviously don't have, at least not right here, any houseboats. So it's a different vibe, but yeah, canal vibes.
And last but certainly not least, we are here at Bar Luce, Luca, not sure, but it is a bar slash cafe designed by Wes Anderson, which is really interesting. It's supposed to be 1950s theme, and after my last Wes Anderson reel on Instagram went viral, I was like, I have to stop here and do another one. So we're definitely gonna film inside and maybe get a cake if possible, or a cappuccino for Lucas, because he loves cappuccinos. Oh, and also I wanted to mention that I did get a tattoo here in Milan. In case you noticed it in some of the scenes, it's amazing. I've been wanting to get a tattoo from Julia from 8 Lines for like so long. I'll post her information below if you want to get a beautiful tattoo like this, because I'm obsessed. Also, Lucas went to a barber shop and got a haircut and got his entire beard shaved. So we'll have to take a look at that too. I don't know, what do you guys think? No mustache, haircut. Comment below how you feel. Lucas has had a mustache for like 10 years, so this is weird. I like it. Okay, we've made it into Bar Luce, or Bar Luce, still haven't figured it out. But anyway, we got like this pink cake that says it on the top, and also we got an oat milk cappuccino. The cake is not vegan, but I wanted it for aesthetic reasons because I did one of those like Wes Anderson trend Instagram videos. Had to. It's like, I think they built this for that, you know what I mean? But it's really interesting. You first go up and order, and then you wait in a long line, and then you give the person at the end your receipt, and then they make your drink. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, the wallpaper's cool, the ceiling's cool. I expected it to be a little crazier, I'll admit, because Wes Anderson films can be pretty crazy. But you know, I like the 1950s sort of minimalistic style as well. And I see some video games over there that look like a lot of fun to play. So maybe we'll have to go over there and play something later. Huh? What do you think, Lucas? It looks really cool, yeah. Lucas said the bathrooms were really interesting. They were like a big room with tiny stalls in the corner. I love that. He said it was really echoey, but there you have it. All right, I guess Lucas is gonna taste test some of the cappuccino here for us.
It's really good. Now, it has been sitting there for the Wes Anderson reel for like 5 minutes. Also, my voice is lost, but it still tastes really good. I saw that they have a special blend of coffee beans that they call like Luce Cocoa. Yeah, it's really good. That's what's in here. So they said that the games, they work, but for some reason they're not working right now. Like they're not able to be played for some reason. But I don't know if you noticed, what's his name again? Jason Schwartzman? Yeah.
So we made it back in the car, and Lucas actually has some new information about the cappuccinos.
It's delicious.
I tried it, it's so good.
Because I got it fresh this time.
Yeah, so to like usually themed place like that, the coffee isn't very good or the food's not very good. We didn't get to try the food because the cake wasn't vegan, but we did give it to a nice couple who was very excited about having that cake slice.
They were.
They were so
hyped.
stoked. And they also got our seats, so extra excitement. But anyway, cappuccino is really, really good. Now listen, you have not told us whether or not your wish came true on the Bowls Balls.
It will come true.
Okay, he says it will come true. It hasn't came true yet. Okay, that's fine. But also, can you tell us a little bit about why you were in Milan 12 years ago? We heard you came for Fashion Week. We heard you were a model, but like, what?
So I was a model in LA, and the agencies that I worked with asked me if I would like to go to Paris and Milan to model runway there and do Fashion Week, because they have Fashion Week in Paris and Milan. And so, yes, I said yes, and it was a long time ago.
It was your first time being international?
Except for Mexico. I had never traveled to Europe for sure, and never been on an international flight. And I did the whole thing by myself because, you know, they weren't gonna
pay for me to go.
Right.
Because we were actually together even way back then.
Yeah.
I remember having to send you money. You're like, I ran out of money. I need money. I would like
we
literally
had, like, no
send
money.
you money from
You don't get paid, you know, for your Fashion Week gigs until
No.
way after. So.
No, and we were in our early 20s. We were like 21. And I remember I got like a settlement check because someone ran into my car. And I literally cashed that out and sent it to Lucas. So we never got my car fixed, but he had money for his trip.
Lauren was my sugar mama.
That's the shit that you do when you're 21. But anyways, I just remember Lucas complaining about how hot and humid it was, how he had to sleep in the lobby because they didn't have a room for him, how he like ate just bread at McDonald's and bottled wine.
Yeah, because you were always traveling to different hotels and different places, and sometimes they forget to book your room because there's so many models.
Your Fashion Week stories are hilarious. If you guys watched our Paris vlog, Lucas talks about his time in Paris during that Fashion Week back in 2011. So
yeah,
you're probably hearing it for the second time. But this was his Milan times. Didn't a mosquito
a mosquito bit my lip, and it was like the size of a golf ball.
You're in Milan, right?
Yeah, and I walked into a pharmacy and they were like, "How can I help you?" And I just pointed to my lip, like, and they were like, "Okay," and they handed me a thing and it worked.
So second time in Milan,
Much
slightly better. Okay.
Much better.
Okay, cool. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed Milan. I sure did. I really think my favorite weird thing was the skeletons in that chapel. I just can't get over it. I keep thinking about it. I don't know why. Maybe it's imprinted in my memory and I'll have a nightmare about it later. But it's really interesting. And if you want to see if Lake Como was worth it, check out our video we just did last week. And if you want to just follow along on our 3-month Italian trip, I have a playlist right here of all the Italy videos that we're gonna have. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, all the good stuff. Hit the bell button so you're notified about next week's upload, which is gonna be about Torino, here in Italy. It's gonna be epic. And I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.